Let us begin by recognizing a truth that lies not in the outer world but deep within our being. Everything is energy. Every thought you think, every object you touch, and every space you inhabit carries an energetic frequency. Salt, something so simple and ancient, is not just a kitchen essential. It is a vessel of powerful vibrational energy. This is not just folklore or superstition. This is about tuning into the subtle energies that shape our lives from the inside out. Salt has long been used by civilizations across time for purification. Whether it was used in sacred temples or homes, its purpose was always the same. It absorbed what no longer served the environment and transmuted it into clarity. When you place salt in your home with clear awareness, you are making a conscious decision to cleanse not just physical space, but energetic space. And when the energy around you shifts, your thoughts begin to shift. When your thoughts shift, your life begins to transform. You are not here by accident. You are not listening to this message by chance. The universe is guiding you to remember what your soul already knows. Your home is not merely a building of walls and rooms. It is a container of energy, and that energy must be protected and nourished. When salt is placed in your environment with intention, it begins to draw out heaviness, blockages, and limiting patterns that may have gone unnoticed for years. Think for a moment about the spaces in your home that feel heavy. Perhaps there are corners that you avoid, places where arguments happened, rooms where sadness lingers. Energy lingers far longer than sound. The words may have faded, but their vibrations remain. Salt steps in to absorb and clear those vibrations. It becomes a silent guardian, removing what holds you back so that what elevates you can enter freely. We live in a world where clutter and noise dominate not only our homes but our minds. This noise clouds our intuition and dulls our connection to the flow of abundance. Abundance is not something that appears out of nowhere. It is always around us, waiting for permission to enter, but it cannot flow into a space clogged with emotional and energetic residue. Salt, in its pure form, clears that path. It whispers to the universe that your home is ready, that you are ready. When you place salt in the corners of your home, do not do it absent-mindedly. Do it with awareness. See it as a ritual of renewal. Speak an affirmation if you feel called to. Something like, I clear this space of all stagnant energy. I welcome clarity, peace, and prosperity. These words carry frequency, and frequency is everything. The salt will hold that vibration and radiate it outward, shifting the very field of your living space. Do not underestimate what seems simple. Great power often hides in simple practices. A bowl of salt placed in the right spot becomes a beacon for transformation. It invites in new opportunities. It signals to your deeper self that you are reclaiming your space, that you are no longer willing to live among energetic clutter. And as your home shifts, so too does your inner world. The walls begin to breathe again, the air feels lighter, and your mind becomes more still. The truth is, you are not just cleansing your home, you are cleansing your life. You are saying yes to a new frequency, one where stress, scarcity, and fear no longer define your reality, one where wealth, inspiration, and peace have room to move. The salt becomes a bridge between the seen and unseen. It creates alignment, and alignment is the natural birthplace of abundance. Many of us think that wealth begins with effort, with hustle, with endless doing. But true wealth begins in stillness, in clarity, in openness. It begins when the old is cleared away and the new can enter without resistance. Salt does not create wealth directly. It creates the space for wealth to be welcomed. It dissolves energetic blocks that your conscious mind may not even perceive, and when those blocks are gone, the flow begins. Your environment is speaking to you at all times. The question is, are you listening? When you walk into your home, what do you feel? Is it peace or pressure? Is it lightness or heaviness? Your outer world mirrors your inner world. If you want to change your life, begin by shifting the energy of your space. Salt is one of the most accessible and powerful tools you can use to do that. It costs little but delivers much. You do not need to understand the science of energy to feel its impact. You simply need to trust the intelligence of your intuition. Notice how a room feels before placing salt, and notice how it feels after. You will feel a subtle shift, a lightness. That is the beginning of transformation. That is the universe responding to your clarity and intention. That is the law of resonance in action. Salt also reminds us of the power of surrender. It asks for nothing. It gives everything. It simply does its work quietly, and in doing so, it teaches us how to be in flow, how to hold space for transformation without needing to control every outcome. This is a powerful lesson for attracting wealth, for true wealth is not forced, it is welcomed, it is invited through clarity, openness, and alignment. Let every bowl of salt you place be a statement to the universe, a statement that says, I am clearing what no longer serves, I am releasing fear, I am choosing flow, I am ready to receive. Let each placement be a moment of mindfulness, a sacred pause in your day where you reconnect to the vibration of trust. The salt may be silent, but the message it carries is profound. We are energetic beings living in an energetic universe. What surrounds us affects what we become. You would not plant a seed in polluted soil and expect it to grow. So too, you cannot expect wealth to blossom in a home that is energetically burdened. Use salt to purify your soil. Let it cleanse the energetic field of your home so that new seeds of prosperity can take root and grow without resistance. The world outside you is only half the story. The energy inside your home tells the rest. When you begin to consciously shape that energy, you reclaim your power. Salt is simply a reminder, a sacred ally. It does not do the work for you, but it supports the space where the work can happen. And that space, that energy, that alignment is the birthplace of every miracle you seek. In the end, it is not about the salt. It is about the energy it holds and the intention you place behind it. It is about the consciousness you bring to your space and the commitment you make to live in alignment. When you honor your environment, you honor yourself, and when you honor yourself, the universe responds with grace. With support, with wealth in every form, so take a bowl of salt, place it in the corners of your room, let it sit in quiet power, and as you do, know this, you are not just placing an object, you are planting a vibration. One that says, I am ready to clear, I am ready to rise, I am ready to receive. That is the first step, that is the quiet call to abundance, and from that call, wealth begins to pour in. The salt you place in your home is not just a mineral. It is a message that begins not from your hands but from your heart. Wealth does not respond to mere actions taken without consciousness. It responds to intention, that subtle inner voice that says, I believe in this. I am choosing to connect this act with a greater vision of abundance, and in that sacred moment, salt becomes more than matter, it becomes meaning. Most people move through life seeking results while overlooking the power of intention. They place objects hoping for luck, they repeat rituals hoping for miracles, but without intention, even the most ancient practices lose their power. Intention is the inner compass that directs energy toward a purpose. When you place salt in your home with the clear inner knowing that you are calling in prosperity, you shift the entire frequency of your space. You begin to awaken the sleeping wealth that surrounds you. It is easy to forget that energy flows where attention goes. When you take a bowl of salt and place it in a specific area of your home, you are doing something sacred. You are focusing your energy. You are giving your awareness to a space that you now claim as fertile ground for growth. It is not the salt alone that brings transformation. It is the energy behind the act, the presence, the clarity, the intention. Intention transforms a routine into a ritual. It turns a physical gesture into a spiritual declaration. When you place salt in your home, do it with a calm mind. Let the space be quiet. Let your breath be steady. And as you move, hold the image of what you are inviting in. Not just money, but freedom, opportunities, joy, security, a life of flow, a home that reflects abundance in every corner. You may have walked through this life believing that wealth only arrives through effort, through long hours, through endless striving. But there is a deeper truth waiting to be remembered. Wealth also flows to those who are aligned, who are open, who live with purpose. Intention is not passive, it is powerful. It activates unseen forces. It sets energy in motion, and the salt becomes a focal point of that energy. Place the salt with your hands, but infuse it with your spirit. Speak softly if you wish. Say, I welcome wealth into this space. I am open to prosperity. I trust in the abundance that flows through me and around me. These words carry vibrations that change the atmosphere. They create ripples in the unseen. The universe does not need you to shout. It simply needs you to mean what you say. The truth is, the universe is always listening, not to what you say casually, but to what you say with presence, with feeling, with conviction. Intention is the soul of every prayer. Every affirmation, every ritual, it is not the salt alone that clears the way for wealth. It is the clear, unwavering message you send when you place it. That message is heard. That message is answered. Many people try to attract abundance with force, with desperation, with fear, but these are not the vibrations of prosperity. Prosperity responds to peace, to clarity, to trust. When you act from fear, you invite more fear. When you act from trust, you invite more flow. So do not place salt because you are afraid of lack. Place it because you believe in the fullness that is already on its way. This is the quiet revolution of intention. It changes everything without needing to change anything on the outside. Your home may look the same, but the energy will be different. The corners where you place the salt will begin to radiate a new frequency. One that supports growth, one that attracts goodness, and you will begin to feel a shift not only in your home but in your life. The shift begins inside you. When you make the decision to be intentional with every act, you begin to live with more awareness. More grace, more power. You are no longer reacting to life. You are co-creating it. You are sending signals not just through your actions but through your energy, and energy is the true language of the universe. It hears you through your vibration. So how do you create powerful intention? Start with stillness. Sit quietly before placing the salt. Breathe deeply. Connect to the vision of the life you desire, not in desperation but in trust. Know that you are worthy of wealth, that abundance is not outside of you, it is within you, and from that space of calm knowing, act. You might feel silly at first. You might wonder if such a small gesture can make a difference. But it is not small, it is sacred, and when you treat it as sacred, the universe responds in kind. You will begin to see changes, unexpected blessings, new ideas, a renewed sense of flow. The outer world will begin to shift in ways that reflect the inner shift you have made. This is the path of conscious living. It is not about doing more. It is about doing less with more meaning. It is about aligning your actions with your highest intentions. Placing salt with clear intention turns a forgotten corner into a point of power. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, and it invites a life where wealth flows naturally, without resistance. You are not just arranging your home, you are arranging your energy. You are creating alignment between what you desire and what you allow. That is the true secret of wealth, not chasing, not striving, but allowing, making space, setting intention, and trusting that what you are ready for will find you in the perfect time. Imagine walking through your home and feeling a quiet hum of energy in each corner. Not chaos, not clutter, but peace, possibility. That is the environment wealth loves. It does not thrive in noise. It thrives in clarity, in calm, in consciousness. Salt, placed with intention, becomes a conductor of that consciousness. There is a wisdom older than words that lives in your spirit. It knows the truth of energy. It knows that what you do with awareness becomes powerful. When you act from intention, you do not need to convince the universe of your worthiness. You simply align with the truth that you are already worthy. The salt reminds you of that truth, and that remembrance calls forth abundance. Every time you see the salt in your space, let it be a reminder, not of superstition, but of your power, of your clarity, of your decision to live with awareness. Let it remind you that your life is shaped not only by what you do, but by the energy behind what you do. That is where real transformation begins, and that is where real wealth flows. You may have tried many things before, books, courses, affirmations, still feeling blocked, but intention cuts through all resistance. It does not beg, it declares, it says, I am ready, I trust, I am aligned, and from that place every ritual becomes potent, every act becomes meaningful, every corner of your home becomes sacred. This practice is not about control. It is about co-creation. You are not forcing life to give you something. You are aligning your life with what is already seeking you. Wealth is not something you must chase. It is something you prepare for. Make your space ready. Make your energy clear, and let the salt be the tool that helps you do both. Sometimes it is not the world that needs to change, it is you. It is the way you see, the way you feel, the way you act. When intention becomes your guide, even the simplest gestures become miracles, and in those miracles you begin to remember who you are, a being of power, a being of flow, a being who was never meant to live in lack. You were born for abundance, not just financial, but emotional, spiritual, and energetic. And every choice you make either aligns with that truth or distances you from it. So choose to align, choose to act with purpose. Let the salt in your home be more than decoration. Let it be declaration, a living symbol of your intention. If there is a space in your life that feels blocked, do not ignore it. Approach it with presence. Bring the salt, bring your awareness, bring your trust. Say to that space, I am ready to let go of what no longer serves. I am ready to welcome what is mine. That small act becomes a turning point, a moment of truth, a spark of transformation, and as the days pass, you will notice the difference, not all at once, but gradually, a shift in how you feel, a shift in what you attract, a shift in the ease with which life unfolds. That is the power of intention. That is the magic of placing salt, not out of habit, but out of purpose, out of love, out of knowing. Let this practice become part of your rhythm, a quiet moment of connection between you and the universe, a ritual of trust, a symbol of readiness. You do not need to understand how it works. You only need to believe that it does, and in that belief, in that sacred pause, you invite something greater to flow through you. So walk into your space today with new eyes, not as a victim of circumstances, but as a creator of energy. Place the salt with a clear heart, with a calm mind, with a soul that says yes to wealth, yes to flow. Yes to grace, and then watch what happens, watch what unfolds, watch what pours in. You may not always realize it, but your home is a direct reflection of your inner world. The condition of your environment mirrors the condition of your thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs. When your home feels heavy or chaotic, it is often because your inner life is overwhelmed or unclear. And when you begin to shift your space, something beautiful happens. You begin to shift your mindset. You begin to align with a higher version of yourself. Your home is not just where you eat or sleep. It is your temple. It is the sacred container for your energy. Every corner holds the memory of your mood. Every room carries the residue of past thoughts and emotions. That is why the placement of salt, though seemingly small, becomes so powerful. When you cleanse your environment, you cleanse your vibration. And when your vibration rises, you start to attract experiences that match your new energy. Too often we try to change our lives without changing the space we live in. We read books, we write goals, we work harder. But we do not clear the energetic field that surrounds us daily, and that field holds on to what we are trying to let go of. It keeps the old fears, the outdated beliefs, and the hidden resistance trapped in the walls around us. Salt helps to release that. It helps you reclaim your space from the past. There is a wisdom your soul understands when you walk into a clean, calm, high-vibration room. You feel safer, you breathe deeper. You begin to think clearer, and those clear thoughts are the foundation of a wealthy life, not just in money, but in ideas, opportunities, peace, and inspiration. That is the wealth we often forget to seek. And it begins at home, where your energy meets your environment every single day. Salt is one of nature's most grounding and purifying gifts. When you place it with intention in your space, you tell your home and your subconscious that it is time to let go of what no longer serves you. Whether it is an old emotional wound or a belief that tells you wealth is hard to receive, that vibration begins to shift. And when the space around you no longer supports struggle, neither will your mind. Your environment becomes your partner in transformation. Look around your home and notice what it says about you. Does it reflect someone who is open to wealth and peace, or does it speak of past stress, unresolved emotions, and unfinished energy? You cannot attract a life of clarity if you are surrounded by confusion. You cannot welcome wealth if your space whispers fear. Begin by changing what you can see, and what you cannot see will begin to follow. That is how energy works. It responds to your cues. Salt placed in corners, near entrances, or under beds is not just for cleansing. It is for alignment. It is a statement that you are making room for a higher vibration to live with you. You are not just surviving, you are inviting flow. You are ready to become the person whose life reflects harmony, trust, and openness to receive, and your home becomes a living mirror of that intention. It echoes back your evolution. When your outer world is clean and peaceful, your inner world has room to expand. You feel lighter, you feel supported. That support radiates into your relationships, your work, your finances. You show up differently because you are no longer being pulled down by what you cannot even see. The salt, though silent and still, becomes an energetic filter. It absorbs what you no longer need and leaves behind clarity. Most people underestimate the power of environment. They assume that wealth is created through external opportunities alone. But the truth is, opportunity does not visit a home filled with chaos. Inspiration does not land in the mind of someone distracted by energetic noise. You need space, you need stillness, you need a frequency that allows wealth to settle and stay, and that frequency begins with you claiming your space intentionally. Your home tells a story. Every object, every corner, Every smell and sound says something about your state of being. When you begin to shape that story consciously, the energy within your home begins to elevate, and that elevation becomes a silent magnet, one that pulls in aligned experiences, people, and abundance. You are no longer trying to force success. You are creating the conditions where success flows naturally. Even if nothing else in your life changes immediately, the shift in your home will change you. And you will begin to make decisions from a place of clarity and strength. You will trust more, you will resist less, you will allow life to unfold instead of chasing outcomes. This is how inner peace creates outer prosperity. The salt you place becomes a symbol of surrender and sovereignty. You are no longer lost in confusion. You are rooted in intention. If your home is your mirror, then how you treat it reflects how you treat yourself. Are you giving yourself room to grow? Are you surrounding yourself with energy that uplifts? Are you making space for the life you say you want? These questions matter, because your answers live not in your words, but in the feel of your space. Let your home be a place where every corner says yes to wealth, yes to peace, yes to becoming more. You do not need to wait until everything is perfect to start. Begin with what you have, a simple bowl, a handful of salt, a clear intention. That is enough to set a new frequency in motion. That is enough to say, I am ready for more. And as you take this step, you are not just cleaning your space. You are declaring your worth. You are telling the universe that your home is now a temple of abundance. There is something sacred about deciding to elevate your environment. It means you are no longer willing to tolerate what drains you. You are choosing alignment. You are choosing expansion. Salt becomes your quiet ally in this journey. You do not need to explain it to anyone. You simply let it do what it does, absorb, purify, align. And through that alignment, new doors begin to open. Think of every area of your home as a part of your consciousness. The cluttered shelf is a cluttered thought. The dark corner is an ignored emotion. The dusty table is a forgotten dream. When you care for your space with presence, you care for your mind. You begin to clear the dust off your vision. You begin to see the world not as a place of limits, but as a field of infinite possibility. The energy of wealth is not chaotic. It is peaceful. It flows into places that are already in harmony. Your home can become one of those places, and salt can be the key that opens the gate. It does not take much. Just awareness, just intention, just a moment of silence where you say, I am done with the old, I am ready for the new, and then you let the energy rise. This journey is not about superstition. It is about connection. It is about coming home to yourself by coming home to your space. When your environment becomes sacred, your life becomes sacred. When your space reflects clarity, your path becomes clearer, and that clarity leads to action. Aligned action, the kind that brings lasting success and inner fulfillment. You are already enough. You are already worthy of all the abundance you desire. The salt is not making you more worthy. It is reminding you of who you are. A being of energy, a vessel of light, a magnet for miracles. Your home becomes the stage where this remembering happens, and your energy begins to rise to meet the truth of your potential. Let go of the idea that transformation must be loud or big or complex. It often begins in silence, in stillness, in simplicity, a bowl of salt, a deep breath, a decision to live with intention. That is enough. That is where power begins, and from that place, change becomes effortless. Because it is no longer forced, it is welcomed. With each passing day, you begin to feel more aligned, more grounded, more open. That openness calls forth wealth, the kind of wealth that touches all areas of your life. Financial growth, emotional freedom, inspired creativity, loving relationships, all of it begins in a space that supports who you are becoming. You are never separate from the energy you live in. Your home is not just a container. It is a catalyst. It holds the frequency that your life will mirror. So shape that frequency with love, with trust, with clarity. Use the salt as a symbol, as a ritual, as a quiet declaration that you are ready to let go of the noise and receive the new. There is power in this, not because the salt holds magic, but because you do. The salt simply helps you activate it, helps you remember it, helps you live it, and as your home becomes lighter, so does your life. The things you once chased now begin to arrive, not by accident, but by alignment, and all of it began with intention and a choice to honor your space. Let your home rise with you. Let it hold you as you grow. Let it reflect the peace you are choosing each day.